Sitting in the shadow of two volcanoes, Antigua in Guatemala is often called the most beautiful city in Central America. And after just one day, it's easy to see why. Colourful flowers spill from every corner, while pastel-hued buildings stand side by side in striking contrast, begging for a photo. This UNESCO World Heritage Gem is the perfect gateway to Central America, blending colonial charm with cool cafes, boutique hotels, and familiar household names. So in this video, we'll dive into Antigua's colourful heart, from must-see landmarks to hidden food courts, strange ceviche, and even a Christmas procession. Expect practical tips, a few surprises, and a taste of why this city feels like nowhere else. Our journey began in Guatemala City, where we hopped on a shuttle and 2 hours later rode into Antigua. Our first order of business? Get some local currency. So we wandered the porticos by Parque Central until we spotted a lady holding a stack of cash. I asked her cambio and she nodded, offering us 7 Guatemalan quetzales per US dollar. Much better than the 6.04 offered at the official money changer. So with quetzales in my pocket, we headed to Parque Central. This is Antigua's beating heart, a green oasis buzzing with life. It's the place to go for people watching, with locals chatting and vendors keeping things lively. Just across the square stands the San José Cathedral, a 16th century beauty. It was once deemed the most beautiful and luxurious cathedral in Central America, and worth a stop if you're passing by. Next door is the National Museum of Guatemalan Art. Housed in a 16th century palace, it's free to enter, so we grabbed some English audio guides and dove right in. We're not upbuzzed by any means, but the variety here was quite spectacular and we spent a longer time here than we expected. Next was Mercado Central, the definition of unfiltered Guatemalan life. This colourful market is a delightful mishmash of fresh produce, daily goods, crafts, toys, and food stalls. Filled with hustle and bustle, there's so much to see and always something that catches you off guard. Such as this stall selling ceviche made from raw bull testicles. At the market, our eyes were drawn to another stall offering a more normal type of ceviche. Well, as normal as gets in Guatemala. Apparently, the dark colour comes from the black clam, a popular local delicacy that drips with black liquid the moment it's cracked open. Topped with prawns, tomatoes, veggies, onions, the taste is quite indescribable and all I can say is the locals love it and you'll have to try it for yourself. Antigua's UNESCO status means there are strict rules to keep its Spanish Baroque ambience alive. Think red-tiled roofs, approved colour palettes, and some brands even took their logos and decor to match the town's colonial style. For us, the most eye-opening was what must be the most beautiful Starbucks in the world, right here in Antigua. The bright yellow Arco de Santa Catalina is definitely the most iconic landmark of Antigua, and it's here where you want to take your I've been to Antigua snapshot. Fun fact, built in 1694, a hidden passageway runs through the arch to allow nuns of the nearby convent to walk through unnoticed. Our last big stop was Iglesia de la Merced. If there's another church you must visit in Antigua, it's this one. Completed in 1767, it's a relic of the colonial period and the most recognizable church in Antigua. Just be mindful, as there are local worshippers here, as many Guatemalans are Christian too. fact, we were lucky to catch a huge Las Posadas procession that night, reenacting Mary and Joseph's journey into Bethlehem. Another reason to make your way to Iglesia de la Merced is the plaza outside. Around midday, it's lined with food vendors hawking all sorts of mouth-watering street foods, as well as stores selling artworks, books, and souvenirs. It's a really nice spot to sit amongst locals and soak in the atmosphere. For dinner, we stumbled upon La Fuente, a food court that's pretty much hidden unless you look on the map. If you're craving a certain cuisine, there's a good chance you'll find it here. Today, we went for pho, a Vietnamese beef noodle soup. While it wasn't 100% authentic, it wasn't half bad either. Day 1 had a lot of walking, and trust me, you'll want some sturdy shoes. The cobblestone streets are intense in Antigua, and they require good ankles and keeping an eye out where you are stepping. And after a full day of soaking up the town's colourful streets, we are off to the hills tomorrow, to a magical escape straight out of a fantasy world. Hobbitenango. This is Guatemala's version of the Shire, a whimsical theme park featuring Hobbit-style houses with round doors and grassy roofs. High up in the mountains, Guatemala's natural beauty is at full force here, with cool mountain air and sweeping views of the Panchoy Valley and volcanoes. To get there, we had booked an ATV tour the day before, and after getting geared up with helmets and a quick lesson on how not to crash an ATV, we were off, zipping past winding roads and deeper into rural Guatemala. But before that, we made a quick stop at Cerro de la Cruz, a popular scenic lookout point. Perched at about 5,250 feet above sea level, it's famous for its giant concrete cross as well as a jaw-dropping panoramic view of the city below. Back on the ATVs, we pushed deeper into the countryside until finally we reached a point where the ATVs couldn't go past. Here, we made the rest of our way Guatemalan style, on the back of a pickup truck. It was bumpy, no seat belts, just the 6 of us gripping the sides for dear life. The chilly mountain air hit hard, and we were glad we brought our jackets. When we rode up to Hobbitenango, it was truly like stepping into the Shire. We spent 2 hours exploring the place, starting with the Hobbit houses. You can actually go inside some of them, and they're decked out with furniture and everything. From the inside, the views were breathtaking, which really adds to the whole atmosphere. Even the restaurant was something special. Built like a Hobbit hall, it had low ceilings, wooden furniture, and Lord of the Ring music setting the mood. I've never been to the Hobbit movie set in New Zealand, but Hobbitenango was looking pretty darn cool. Of course, my wife, who has never seen a Lord of the Ring movie in her life, was happy to let me geek out. I also tackled the Colombio El Grito, a giant swing that makes for epic photos with the vast landscape as your backdrop. My wife was supposed to record it, but in her classic fashion, he'd stopped recording right as I swung. Nevertheless, the swing's a fun thing to do here. Just make sure you double check your camera person. Since the weather was cold, we also grabbed a hot chocolate to warm up, which came with a chance to pose with Gandalf, complete with staff and beard. The hot chocolate was just okay, but the staff were nice and I got Gandalf to do the classic pose with me. You sound it! All in all, we really enjoyed ourselves at Hobbitenango. It wasn't too crowded and felt more like a hidden gem than a tourist trap. We also found lots of nice photo spots and little details that made it seem like they really put a lot of thought into the place. Our day 2 was turning out to be way more relaxed than day 1, and the scenery change was exactly what we needed. A 3-hour drive from Antigua lies one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. Lake Atitlan was formed by a supervolcanic eruption about 80,000 years ago and is surrounded by 3 dramatic volcanoes, San Pedro, Doliman, and Atitlan. Today, it's ringed by charming Mayan villages, each with its own personality. A day trip comfortably covers 3 villages, and that's exactly what we did for our 3rd day. To make things easy, we had booked a tour with one of the local operators in Antigua, which includes transport from Antigua and a tour guide. Keep in mind that no roads connect the villages here, so boats are the only way to navigate between these little worlds. Our first village was San Juan La Laguna, an artsy village filled with colourful and musical streets. Murals splashed the walls everywhere, with scenes of Mayan life, flowers, and legends, turning the town into an open-air gallery. San Juan is also dotted with cooperatives run by local women, and our first stop was at one focused on honey. These women specialize in producing medicinal honey made by native stingless bees, also called Mayan bees. We saw the bees up close and tasted the different honeys that they produced. The demonstration wrapped with a stop at their shop, stacked with honey soaps, honey wines, honey mascara, and even honey eye drops. Buying something isn't a must, but it does help the local families involved in the trade. Honey aside, San Juan's real claim to fame is weaving. The streets are all lined with hand-woven dresses, bags, and scarves made here. So our next stop was a weaving cooperative of 35 families, with 85% of the profits go straight to the weavers. One of them showed us how she extracts the cotton and how it's swiftly woven into thread by hand. My wife gave it a go, and let's just say she won't be quitting her day job. Each thread is then dyed using natural plants and manually woven into intricate Mayan patterns. Of course, we couldn't leave San Juan without strolling Calle de las Sombrillas, similar to Portugal's Umbrella Street. The road also has a rainbow-colored stripe down the middle, and it was fun walking down, snooping through souvenir stores while cute little red tuk-tuks zip past. With a population of around 50,000, Santiago Atitlan is one of the largest villages at the lake. Perhaps that's the reason why it had a more community feel and less about catering to outsiders. Our guide was a local here and took us through a shortcut to the parish church of Santiago Apostol. Built in the 1540s, it's one of the oldest churches in Guatemala. Interestingly, it blends Mayan and Christian roots, featuring wooden saints draped in vibrant hand-woven Mayan textiles. Sadly, during the Guatemalan Civil War, the church was a target for violence due to its defense of human rights. Its American priest, Stanley Rother, was murdered for his work with the locals, and you'll find his shrine at the back of the church. Now a martyr, his heart is buried under the altar, a literal piece of his legacy in Santiago. Outside the church, we met a woman in bright red tocoyal, a traditional Mayan head wrap. You also spot the tocoyal on a Guatemalan 25-cent coin, honoring a Santiago peace activist. The red color is often found in Santiago, linked to a legend about the town's women weaving a red ribbon to honor Saint James. Nearby, the Santiago Atitlan market buzzed with life as vendors hawk meat, veggies, and household goods. It's raw, loud, and easily one of my favorite stops for a real taste of local life. As it happens, Santiago also has an artistic side. We came across an artist working on a beautiful wall mural, and also made a stop at an art gallery filled with local artwork for sale. Choosing to skip the party village of San Pedro, our last village was San Antonio. Here, we popped into a ceramics cooperative where women craft beautiful ceramic pieces by hand. Seeing the care and skill involved was seriously impressive. There's not a whole lot to do in San Antonio, but honestly, that's part of the charm. Perched on a steep hillside, it features killer panoramas of the lake and those 3 volcanoes. These are hands down the best views around Lake Atitlan. So we spend the rest of our time soaking it in, watching women wash clothes in the crystal clear water, feeling the slow pace of life. If you're looking for an affordable place to stay in Antigua, we can recommend the guest house where we spent 3 nights. Near the center of town, it features a private ensuite room and access to a shared kitchen. Not only was it very affordable and spacious, the guest house was also next to an amazing little Guatemalan eatery that we ended up loving very much, eating here several times. This little eatery has been around since 1994, serving up cheap tasting Guatemalan grub. Breakfast was under 35 quetzales, and their lunch special was an even greater steal, a 3-course meal at 25 quetzales. We especially loved the terrace, which was nice and cozy with mountain views. Mostly locals eat here, with the odd backpacker, so it's really a hidden gem. For the digital nomads, we really like La Vide Cafe. There's free Wi-Fi, plenty of power plugs, and lots of tables to co-work on. Plus, their coffee was pretty good, so we spent a couple hours quietly working here during our stay. All in all, our 3 days in Antigua flew by, and we felt like it became one of those trips that's tough to beat. Between the charm of the colonial town, a quirky escape to Hobbitland, and the lakeside village excursions, we felt like we got a little taste of everything Guatemala has to offer. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment to let us know where you're off to next. Thanks for coming along with us in Antigua, and see you on our next adventure.